Mi nombre es Moises y soy pintor. We came over from Baja California, Mexico, and we lived in Yuma for a while, a few years. Moved over to Phoenix, Arizona, and I've been exposed to both cultures, the Mexican culture and the American culture. So I was about 3 years old when I came over. I didn't really understand the American culture as much as I did the Mexican culture. I started painting maybe when I was 6 or 7 years old. And when I was 3, 4 years old, I was drawing. And the experiences were those of not understanding and getting to understand the American culture is what brought in some of the artwork. It was also the American culture and the Mexican culture, both are influences in my work. So you'll see some kind of pop art kind of work mixed in with maybe 40s or 50s American culture meets like the lowrider culture. You know, also thrown in with a little Mexican wrestling. I would say my work is narrative because a lot of my work tells a story. And when you look at my work, first you laugh a little bit, like you'll see a Chihuahua and a lowrider and say, oh, why'd you paint a Chihuahua and a lowrider? And there's a story behind every painting like that. It goes back to when I was growing up in the South Side. There were some neighbors that had some Chihuahuas and they had a lowrider, and one day they were coming around the corners. I was playing outside and the lady had her Chihuahua hanging outside the car. So when I glanced up, it looked like the Chihuahuas were actually riding the car, driving the car. When I was younger, my nana actually had some Catholic images in the house, and she would put her santos inside the box with maybe a little cup of water and some coins, just kind of like this super religious stuff. And like, if I put coins next to the saint, I will always have money, and if I put water, I will always have water. So that kind of looked really cool and artsy to me. And as I got older, I started experimenting with the painting. I was painting those for a little while, but it didn't have that characteristic. And as I had a little bit more time to create more work, I went back to my childhood and said, I'm bringing this back and I'm gonna check it out and see what I can play with. And now I started toying around with even more woodwork carving / painting. So I like keeping my painting very much alive, so I don't want to make the whole piece into just a carving. I want it to be painting plus carving, and just, I'm still thinking in the box but outside of the box. They don't necessarily have to be Latino to enjoy my work, because my work is for everybody. They could either say, oh, my friend's grandmother, I used to go over her house and they used to play loteria games, or we used to go over there and his uncle or his brother, older brother, would watch Mexican wrestling. So it's kind of like a history in the making, because I'm still even inspired by what's going on right now. My art has been influenced by the people around me, especially my parents and my family and my friends. The upbringing that I had allowed me to use my resources that were just around me, whether it be scrap wood and leftover paints. I'm still doing that to this day, and people think that I have this huge shop, you know, where I'm producing these massive pieces. I barely have enough room where to even store them, you know. Hola, mi nombre es Moises y soy pintor.